home was family. Home was peace. Home was comfort. Home was where I always look forward to going. I was an adventurous girl. I was very curious. My parents say I was nosy, but I just say I was curious. And I was very outspoken. Still am. I'm coming from a background of a mother who's from Maiduguri, who's Kanuri. Beauty to me meant femininity. It meant confidence. It meant your physical and also your mental appearance. Beauty to me growing up was a variety of things apart from the things I've mentioned, but those three actually stood out to me. I was surrounded by women a lot. How they showered, how they dressed up, perfume, claron water, which is incense, the lotions they used, the powders they used, the clothes they wore. So that had always been like part of my upbringing. Probably wasn't intentional, it was just a normal ritual for them that I just picked up. I've always known I was going to do something for myself. I've always known, I think as far back as secondary school, that I was going to do something myself. I'm very crafty, I'm very creative. So I've always known that. I don't want to say I'm a loner, but I've always done things myself. I'm a firstborn, so I'm very independent. I've always done things my way. Not always the highway, but my way. I'm too stubborn to work in corporates. Very, very stubborn. Things that stuck out with me from childhood was adventure, exploring, community, togetherness. Food, actually. Because my grandma and my mom and her sisters love to cook. I don't like cooking. So maybe I didn't hear that part. But that was childhood for me. Childhood was fun. Childhood was fun. The thing that ever really frustrated me, from my own perspective, I've just been curious. I've always been a curious person. Growing up, I've always been curious. I always like, what's this? What I felt was missing was indigenous crops in beauty care. I felt that all the ingredients that were currently on the market were repetitive and a little bit redundant, and the formulations were nothing unique, nothing centered around our demographic. There's no diversity in the skincare industry in terms of ingredient. Everybody's using the same thing. You're trying to bridge that gap and tell the world that there's more to Africa than just shea butter and cocoa butter. Tigernuts oil, as far as I'm concerned, has never been used, and still isn't being used as a skincare product. I feel nature gives us what we need. And nature has given us Tigernuts. And for centuries we've been drinking it, but no one has thought, oh, how do we apply this to oil? Or how do we make this into skincare? It's indigenous to us. I don't have to travel far and wide to find it. I know its seasons. I know it's off season and it's on season. I know where to source it. And also we cold press it ourselves. So I'm not depending on anybody to get our ingredient, our hero ingredient. And that has also helped us to be able to maintain the quality of Aya. I'm actually an esthetician. On COVID, because we were all locked up, people couldn't get their treatments. And so, everyone's like talking WhatsApp, what can we do? Halima, how can you help us? I'm like, oh, let me just, I have some empty like containers. I can make you some sugar wax and I'll teach you over like WhatsApp how to do it yourself. So I had a light bulb moment while I was doing that. And that's what actually birthed the first BTB product. So it was a sugar wax kit. I did some research, saw that there were some sugar wax kits on the internet, but they weren't the sugar wax kit that I would buy. So I said, okay, the sugar wax kit, but there was something that was missing. It didn't have aftercare in it. It was just like the sugar and maybe the powder and the strip. But for the BTB one, we have the sugar wax, the spatula, we have the cotton strip, which you can reuse, because I wanted something that we could reuse, because nobody knew when we were meant to come out of lockdowns. Then we had the balm, and that was the balm that had Tigernut at the center of it. So we got feedback from mothers, pregnant women, people that had been using it for their extremely dry skin, or eczema, or like post skin reaction. And they were all saying that it was healing their skin, sending me pictures, voice notes, long like testimonials about the products. And they kept asking, and for months I just kept saying, no, it's for the kid, because I was so laser focused. The balm has Tigernut oil, and Tigernut oil naturally is high in vitamin E. And we all know that vitamin E is a very good barrier protector and also very good with healing. Months down the line, I was like, okay, fine, I'll bring it out in the kit. So last year, August 2025, a friend was planning her birthday party in, I think it was Zanzibar. I was thinking to myself, what do I do? And yeah, Nigeria is such a gift country. We have like a rich gifting culture. We like to gift, is our thing. So I said, at the same time, while she was telling us about, like, we're all planning for this 40th birthday, I was thinking like, I need more people to be able to like try this Tigernut oil products. I need more people to try the Tigernut oil product. And I realized that every time I go to a new skincare company or brand to buy something, they used to give like small samples, or they'll have like a small box where you can just try a range of different things. And I think, why can't we have that? So I just thought to myself, I'm going to create the BTB Discovery Kit. It's basically a small version of our current products, but I decided to sneak a creme in. And because I just didn't want one texture from the Tigernut oil, because we already had the oil, we had the balm. I'm like, I don't want to do a body butter because I just feel it's so generic, and I don't really like body butter, so I didn't want to make something I would not use. So okay, and I didn't want a lotion because back then it was still Hamatan. I'm like, there's no way lotion is going to last in this weather. So I wanted to create a cross between a lotion and a body butter, because like I said, I wouldn't use a body butter, but I like lotion, but Hamatan, and a Hamatan in Nigeria, it's not for the faint-hearted. So okay, let's create a creme. So it's not too light but not too thick, but it gives you the perfect hydration. So I snuck that into Discovery Kit. I did that on purpose because I wanted to get reactions. And I think I got, I got the reactions I expected. Because having those three textures with the soap in a kit, it allowed me to understand our customers. We have some men, even the men gave us the data we needed. The men love the oil and the balm because they could put it in their beard and it's not too thick. And I realized that data with the men, I realized that men don't like things that are heavy. So it was perfect. Because the Tigernut oil products we have, they're not heavy and they're not greasy. And especially for people who sweat. So that data today has helped us extend our range further, and we've decided that creme is going to be the binding product for the Aya range. at the Aya collection. Every individual product now has a unique look to it. And another thing is added is the story of DTB and the story of the Tigernut oil. We did this intentionally for those who are new to the brand and new to the ingredient. I wanted this to be included in on the labels just for you to experience the story. What you would notice with our labels is that the story on the Iftia Oba soap is different from the story on Aya Root, Aya Bloom, and Aya Harvest. It's actually a full story. So when you buy all four of them, they all have their stories and each story follows along. So the first part is the Iftia Oba soap. It tells a story. Then the Aya Root tells its own story. It moves on to the Harvest story, the Bloom story, and moves on to the Harvest story. So that way it's like a full Aya range, a full Aya collection. And I wanted that because I feel everything like nature is intertwined and everything like nature is related to each other or need each other's supports. The reason why I say that is because once you use the Iftia Oba, so you've showered, you've rinsed it off, you need something for your skin. So sometimes you can use the oil and you can use Harvest. And sometimes you can use the balm and you can use Harvest. Or you can use the Harvest and you can use roots. So all these things, all our products have one way of partnering with each other, which is why the story and the labels are like a mini storybook. What I've done is change the labels for each of them, and all of them have their individual uniqueness, and what actually have one thing that's the same about them. They all have Tigernut oil. In the front, on each of the three products, you will see a Tigernut crop. If you didn't know, Tigernut actually grows in the ground. It's actually a tuber, it's not a nut. So we decided to put a picture or a graphic or a drawing, whatever you want to call it, beside on each of these labels. So, but however, we've done it in such a way that each part of the Tigernut crop, from the root all the way to the flower, tells a different story. So now for the Aya collection, the Tigernut oil is actually now going to be called Aya Root. And the reason why we did that, because it's such a light product and it's one of our best-selling product in the Aya range. This is the BTB range. We then follow it up with Aya Bloom. Aya Bloom is what you guys know as the balm. The reason why we decided to call it the bloom, because it's right in the middle of the oil and the creme. And for every crop, there's a stem before the flower. And so after the root and the Tigernut comes the stem, so which is why it's blooming. And then finally, we have Aya Harvest. Aya Harvest is a long-awaited Aya creme. The reason why we call it Harvest is because it's something that, it's a product that everyone has been waiting for, and it's finally time for everyone to harvest it and cake it. Adding to that, as a bonus, what I've done, I've created 2 different scents for Aya Harvest. Aya Harvest has 2 scents, which I'm really excited for you guys to try. One is called Wuni, which is like, you know when they say Wuni in Biki in Hausa, so it's like a longing, a yearning. And another one is called Murna, which means joy. Because you guys have been longing for I'm trying to choose the same, because you guys have been asking me for this claim for about 7 months now. I said, okay, let me just be cheeky and name one longing, which is Winnie, which is like yearning, and name one Myrna, which is joy, because I know by the time we receive this product and by the time we launch, everyone will be happy and we can all be friends. I want people to feel that what they're using on their body is rich, what they're using on their body is worthwhile. I want people to feel that Nigerian brands have a lot to offer. And I want BTD to be at the forefront of that thought that, oh my gosh, I can't wait to shower. And I want people to be able to feel that they can show off what they're using. Because when people go out, what are you using? Oh, this smells really nice. I want BTB to be at that forefront. I want BTB to be a whole experience in terms of the body care. Because body care is one of those things I feel is neglected. And BTB is here to make that super different. Tigernuts oil is not an ingredient that's being used or being scented at the moment in the beauty industry. So the people that are buying our products, I see them as curious people. I see them as confident people, and I see them as people who love what nature has to offer.
What do you want people to experience emotionally?
Peace. Nothing more, nothing less. I just want peace. UTB, the brand, even down to how you purchase our products, it's not stressful. It's straightforward. And that's pretty much it. I just want peace. Nothing else.